enough. Let's get going. How do you handle people watching you in the gym? You're so beautiful. Aw, thank you. That is so sweet. Honestly, I have the biggest resting face at the gym. I probably look like I want to murder someone, so it's very rare for me to catch someone staring at me. I wouldn't want to stare at me if I saw me training. The few times that I have, I normally ask people what they're looking at. The advice that I used to give to my ladies in the gym, if you didn't know, it should be on my Instagram. I am a qualified personal trainer. I have been a trainer for over a decade now, qualified for over a decade now, and I used to manage and run the women's section in a bodybuilder's gym, and it was obviously because it's women's only. There are no men allowed in there, including no male trainers. So I got so many women that were just petrified to train in front of men, or because they felt a little insecure at times, which is perfectly normal. The gym can be a very intimidating place, especially to people that have not been there before, or exercise is just completely out of your comfort zone. The way that I used to encourage my women to look at things is to mind your business and focus on yourself. That time that you go to the gym and that you spend in the gym is your you time. That is the time that you go there to benefit yourself and to love yourself. Going to a gym and exercising is a form of loving yourself. I know a lot of people see it as a chore, and people see it as something that they just hate doing. Personally, the way that I look at the gym, and the way that I think everybody should look at the gym, is that is your time that you go to benefit yourself, to love yourself, to help yourself grow. Do not let anybody get in the way of you doing that to the best of your abilities, including some creepy guy at the Smith machine that is perving on you. Or if, I don't know, if you're a guy and maybe you're a little bit self-conscious because you're overweight, and there are lots of guys at your gym that are super shredded, focus on yourself. I can guarantee you, majority of the people that go to the gym are so involved in their own minds about themselves that they're probably not even looking at you. You will get people that stare at you from time to time. I feel like that's just life. Focus on yourself, and don't let anybody take away an experience for you that is going to be nothing but beneficial, and it will help you grow in some way, shape or form, whether it be physically or mentally. How long have you been on your fitness journey, and how often do you train? I've already answered how often I train. I have been on my fitness journey and training since I was a kid. My dad was a personal trainer, and he trained female bodybuilders. And that was, I feel like training was how my dad and I always used to bond. My dad had a sick obsession with training and lifting weights. And when I was a teenager and growing up in Perth, he actually had a squat rack out the back. He had dumbbells, plates, everything, and I freaking loved it. While most kids were out partying or going over to their friend's house, I was normally at home training with my dad. So that was me all throughout high school. My dad used to leave for work at 6 a.m. I used to get up with him at 3:30 or 4 a.m. in the morning before I would go to school, and we would do laps around the footy field, around the outside. I normally try to do 10 laps every morning, because I used to love running until I got shin splints. But I've been training with my dad since I was a kid, and I've loved it. I've always loved it. I played basketball in school, netball in school, volleyball. I loved and was obsessed with athletics, so I've always been a very active person. Yeah, and I feel like that's important. If you are following me because I motivate you in some way, shape or form, or because you like the fitness aspect of what you would get out of my profile, but I feel like it's important to tell people so that there is context behind what they're looking at. I always discourage people to compare themselves to me, or to look at where I am in my journey, being that my journey with fitness started when I was very, very young. I remember my sister-in-law and her friends. It was probably my sister-in-law that made me become more of a normal teenager, because I never used to like going out. I hated it. I used to go to parties or force myself to go to social gatherings, and I would stand there and think about the exercises that I would rather be doing. And it wasn't until my sister-in-law came into my life that she encouraged me to have downtime and be a normal human. But I remember her and her girlfriends being at the house, having prees and getting ready, and I would be at the gym smashing a workout. I would still go out with them. I would come home and go out with them. And my body as a teenager, I was like clockwork. So I would wake up at 5 a.m. every morning on the dot, and I would get up and I would train. And I'd been built like that for so many years that it didn't matter how late I went to bed. I would be up, and not just up and tired, I would be up and awake and ready to go. And I remember us getting home at all hours of the morning, 3 a.m. sometimes. Everyone would be passed out, and I'd be up off to the gym doing interval training. I freaking loved it. So when I say I genuinely love the gym, it has been like that for years and years and years. I've always been excited to go to the gym. So it's definitely started when I was a kid. Do you see yourself moving back to New Zealand? Probably. I feel like you can never say never, but probably not. I feel like there are just far too many opportunities in so many other different parts of the world. I can't see myself moving back to New Zealand. Maybe when I'm like 90, depending on how the world is and what the country's like and the government, maybe I'd want to retire there, but I definitely can't see myself moving back there. And majority of my family have moved to Australia now, so I feel like I want to be close to my babies. Wow, some people are so comfortable with me. Obviously you're single by choice, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was your last breakup? Oh. I'm also not one to talk about super personal things. I'm a very private person. I started Instagram probably 4 or 5 years late. My sister-in-law was trying to get me on to the app for so long, and I just refused because I hated the idea of people knowing anything about my personal life. I'm just not built that way. It was a no from me. When I did finally go on there, my page was on private for the longest time. I feel like my Instagram has only just come off private within the last few years. And I think because I share what I share on there, people think I'm not private, but there is so much about me that people just would have no clue because I'm just so private. Who would you want to be stranded on a desert island with? Jason Momoa. At first when I saw it, the first person that popped into my head was Jason, and then my brain was like, no, take Bear Grylls, but then the other part of me was kind of like, I would rather die than drink my own pee. So Jason for the win. How did you become a Do You Even athlete and a sponsored athlete for Derrimut Gym? So the first time I went to the Derrimut Gym was a few years back. I'd just moved to Melbourne, and obviously I'd always had a very big obsession with the gym. So one of my friends at the time said, you should come to Derrimut, you'll love it. We went to the one in Caroline Springs, which is actually the biggest gym in Australia, and I fell in love. Like, I had just never seen so many squat racks lined up. For someone like me, it was mind-blowing. Like, I felt like I died and gone to heaven. I remember that first session too. I trained legs and I went crazy, and after that training session I walked out back towards my car and I said, I want to be an athlete for this gym. Like, I want them to sponsor me. To my knowledge, well, when I first signed with them, I was told they hadn't had any athletes before, and I would be the first. So to my knowledge, they didn't have any athletes, and that wasn't even a thing. But I was that determined in my mind. I went there every single day and trained so hard. And I thought, I'm just going to put it out into the universe, and the universe is going to reciprocate. And I had a feeling, it's so weird. I get feelings, or I see like visions sometimes. I'm not crazy. And because I'm a very big empath, and like I'm a very big energy person, but I just had this feeling that something was going to eventuate from it because I live at the gym, and I felt like the chances of somebody not seeing me and how hard I trained there, nothing would come of it. And sure enough, something did. I'm a very big believer in asking the universe for things and working towards it, and then making yourself feel as though that it's already coming to you or that it's already going to happen. And sure enough, that's what happened with Dermot. So yay. In terms of the Do You Even sponsorship that I gained, so I went and did a photo shoot with them. It was a video shoot for the Hyperflex, I remember. And I was so excited because I'd done photo shoots before, but because it was for a modeling agency, it was always within a fashion industry type deal, and I hated it. I didn't hate it, but I mean, giving someone that likes modeling the opportunity to train when I love the gym as much as I do while they model, I was like, hell yes, let's do it. Like, I'm so freaking pumped for this. I've been training for this my whole life. So we did it, and the shoot went very, very well, and I got to meet a few people from the team, and everyone was so lovely. And then I got an email after that shoot, and they said, would you be interested in doing a second shoot with us? Of course I said yes. And about 30 minutes into the second shoot, I got an email from somebody that takes care of the athletes saying we would like to offer you a sponsorship with us. So obviously I checked with Dermot, got the all clear from everyone, and I signed on as an athlete. I am a big believer in work ethic. I like to do things to the best of my ability, whether it's driving 2 hours away for a photo shoot to kill a photo shoot and make a company or a brand want to work with me, or if I'm in my place of work finishing tasks to the best of my ability. I am a perfectionist, and everybody in my family has a crazy work ethic, especially my mom, and my dad, my granddad has crazy work ethic, and that's definitely something that I've been brought up in. And I really do feel like that's how you attract brands. I think I understand sacrifice a lot better than what other people do. I understand sometimes doing things for free. I understand going the extra mile, even though sometimes they don't ask for that. So I really do believe I'm fortunate enough to work with a lot of the companies that I am, because I will go the extra mile. And I'm a perfectionist, and I will make sure I do things to the best of my ability. Work ethic. People notice work ethic. Where do you work? I've worked in warehousing for 8 years. So I work in reverse logistics. If you do not know what that is, I pick boxes. So I'm a pickpacker in a warehouse. I have a headset on. I pick tasks. It is so physical. We are on a clock. We have a certain amount of work that we need to do in the day, so I am constantly running around picking things up to 20 kg boxes, putting them back down on pallets and wrapping them. I do that the whole time that I'm in the warehouse. Very, 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 very physical, very, very hard. The workplace that I'm at the moment is in cold storage, and the expectation in that warehouse to complete the amount of work that we're expected to complete is very, very difficult. I have seen many people come and go because they cannot keep up, or because they're so tired and it's just too difficult for them. So when people come to me and tell me that they're too tired or they don't have a lot of energy, me working in the warehouse is why that excuse doesn't really fly with me. I am a sponsored athlete, and majority of the photo shoots that I do, I would be training or doing something physical. I make content for companies, and I am training or having to do something physical. When I go to my warehouse job for 8 to 12 hours, 4 to 6 days a week, I am physical. We get, I think, 2 15-minute breaks. Most of the time it's only one, and like a 30-minute sit down for lunch. And besides that, we are on a clock. And the moment that we are not hitting where we need to hit work-wise, and with the amount of work that we're doing, or if we're not working fast enough, we have somebody on our asses. So yes, I work damn hard. I wear steel caps and high-vis, and I love it that nobody expects me to be able to work. I have crazy work ethic. That's probably what I love most about myself. I love my work ethic. It's not a part of my body, but let's just make a new question. Do you wear makeup to the gym? If so, why? Yes. Sometimes if I feel like it and because I want to. If you could give your younger self advice, what would it be? Be kind to yourself. And also, your mama was right about those girls that she didn't like. Just trust her. Sorry, mama, but thank you. What does it mean to you to be pretty? For me, I'm a big, like I said before, I'm a big energy person. The people that I have in my life, because their energy is very soothing for me to be around, and I feel very at peace around them. I feel energy before I speak to people, before I meet people, sometimes before I talk to them, and if it doesn't feel good for me, I'm just like I cannot. If you meet someone who's met me before and they say I was very, very quiet, there was somebody around probably whose energy that I was just not vibing, and I was kind of a little bit more reserved. But then you'll meet other people that tell you that I'm very bubbly and I'm very smiley and happy and friendly, and it was probably because the energy around me was really nice. I would say in terms of what's pretty to me, it's honestly, like, I'm a big personality person, and pretty to me is always what's on the inside. I understand that there are societal expectations of what pretty or attractive means, but I really don't see it. Like, I'm smart enough to gauge if I see an attractive person, people think, oh, like, he's hot or she's stunning, but it doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't cross my mind. It's normally if I talk to a woman and she's just got really nice, loving, encouraging energy, or I see a guy and he's just very, very kind or soft spoken, like it's the energy people. For me, having like a beautiful soul and nice energy is the most attractive thing in the world. I get more complimented when someone says I have really nice energy or I have a beautiful soul, more than I would ever care about someone saying, oh, like, your makeup looks nice or you're pretty. If someone compliments that, I would prefer someone compliment like my mind or my emotional intelligence. That's pretty to me. And also awareness, like if they're self-aware, I find that very pretty and attractive in a girl. Wow. What do you look for in a man? Emotional intelligence, respect, loyalty, a gentleman. If you love to train, let's get married. Jason Momoa. Can you do more makeup tutorials? 1000%. Biggest pet peeve in the gym and within the fitness industry. You need to lift heavy to train hard. Shut up. And carbs are the enemy and food is a bad thing. Stop demonizing food. Your lack of understanding to be in a calorie deficit and your lack of knowledge surrounding nutrition is the problem. Food is not a problem. Food is amazing. Food is yummy and food makes us happy. Period. Biggest assumption made about you by others. I think it's always because of my Instagram. People say they see the photos of me on my Instagram and I always get, oh my god, I never expected you to be like this when from what your Instagram pictures show. I don't know what is showing on there. Probably because I'm so sassy with my pictures maybe. But I'm just really comfortable with myself and my body. I feel like every woman should be, and I'd want to encourage and help every woman be like that. Slay bitch slay. But yeah, it's always either people thought I was just completely different to how I am in person, or that I was super mean. I'm not mean. You try me, I'm gonna try you back, but otherwise you vibe with me good, you get the same energy. Just be nice. Biggest regret, honestly, not loading up on Cadbury cream eggs last Easter. I've been craving. They're finally coming back out. Favorite thing about yourself? Oh, there's one. Work ethic. I love my work ethic, and I genuinely believe if there's something in my mind that I really, really want, I do not have the capability to just let it go. Like, I don't quit. I will hold on to it to the day I die. It's my favorite thing with my work ethic, but it's also such a burden at times. Why do you have TikTok? Why does everybody hate on TikTok? Because it's fun and I'm a big kid. I know how to have fun. TikTok's fun. If you think TikTok's not fun, come chill with me. It's so fun. I feel sorry for you. Don't hate on something just because all the kids are doing it. I'm a big kid. I love doing fun stuff. Hamas. Who is your biggest inspiration? And it can't be yourself. My niece. 1000% my niece. My niece has taught me how to love myself, has taught me about self-love, has taught me about self-confidence, has taught me about empathy, has taught me about being kind and sweet. Ugh, I'm such a proud auntie. And my nephew, obviously. My niece was born before my nephew, but when my niece was born, the first few years of her life, my perspective on life just completely changed. My understanding of the world and my place in it and my purpose and where I wanted to be and who I wanted to be completely changed. My niece, 100,000%. She is the sweetest little soul. And my nephew is. I just want to put them in a little bubble and shield them from any crap. They're the sweetest things in the world. They're honestly my biggest inspirations. And I think I'm inspired as well because I know my niece still looks up to me, and my sister-in-law tells me, and so does my mum, that she'll ask about me or she'll say things, and it makes me want to be the best version of myself, so that she has someone, obviously besides her mama, because her mama's a boss, she has an auntie and a godmama to look up to that she would be proud of. 1000%. Hi BB. Hi Rainy. Auntie loves you. I just didn't even know it was possible to love someone as much as I love them until my niece was born. They make me emotional. Wheel it in. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short Q&A. If you guys have any more questions, drop them in the comment box below or send me a DM.